The lights hit your mirror and your stomach drops. One wrong sentence could make this stop much worse. Have you ever talked too much during a traffic stop? Yes or no? Your hands get tight on the wheel. Your heart starts racing. The officer is walking up, and your brain is already searching for the wrong words. Most people think the danger is the ticket. It is not. The real danger is what comes out of your mouth in the first few seconds. Here is what most people do wrong. They start explaining. They start apologizing. They start guessing why they got stopped before the officer even says a word. That feels harmless. It feels polite. It feels normal. But it can turn a simple stop into a bigger problem fast. This is exactly where things fall apart. The officer asks one small question. Then the driver fills the silence with way too much information. Maybe you say you were only going a little fast. Maybe you say you were looking at your phone for a second. Maybe you say you had one drink earlier. Now you just gave away facts the officer did not have yet. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. They think staying quiet looks guilty. They think talking more will help them out. A lot of the time, it does the opposite. It gives the officer more to write down. It gives the stop a new direction. It gives you less room later. And there is another problem. Many drivers move too fast. They reach into a pocket. They lean toward the glove box. They start digging for papers before anyone asked. That can make an officer tense in seconds. Now the stop feels more dangerous to them. And when a stop feels dangerous, things can get loud and ugly fast. You do not need to be rude. You do not need to act tough. You do not need some magic speech from a movie. You just need a few calm lines, simple lines, clear lines, the kind that protect you without making things worse. I have studied real traffic stop situations for a long time. I have gone through body cam footage, court records, and real driver encounters. I have seen the same mistake happen again and again. Good people talk themselves into trouble because nobody taught them what to say first. Here is the first move. It is the reset line. The problem it solves is panic talking. Most drivers start with excuses before they even know the reason for the stop. They hand over words the officer can use before they understand what is happening. Say exactly this. Why am I being stopped? That line is calm. It is simple. It is not rude. It does one very important job right away. It makes the officer explain the stop instead of making you guess. That matters more than people think. When you guess, you often admit something by accident. You might say you were only going a little over the limit. You might say you did not see the sign. You might say you just looked at your phone. None of that helps you. This line keeps you from stepping into your own trap. It makes the reason clear. It also slows the moment down. That is huge when your brain is racing. There is another benefit. It tells the officer you are listening. You are not fighting. You are not babbling. You're asking a fair question in a calm way. And yes, in many places, officers are expected to tell you the reason for the stop. That does not mean you argue about it there. It means you let them say it first. If the officer says you were speeding, now you know the lane you're in. If the officer says your brake light is out, now you know this may stay simple. If the officer says they suspect something bigger, now you know to get even quieter. Notice what this line does not do. It does not challenge the officer. It does not accuse them. It does not sound slick or fake. It sounds normal because it is normal. You're not confessing. You're not guessing. You're making them show their cards first. Calm words give you breathing room. Now this next one is where most people completely fall apart. It is the movement warning. The problem here is not your voice. It is your hands. Drivers get nervous and start reaching before anyone asks. That can make a routine stop feel dangerous in a split second. Say exactly this. Before I reach, may I get my documents? This line works because it tells the officer two things. First, you're about to move. Second, you are asking before you do it. That lowers tension fast. It shows respect for safety without sounding scared or weak. It also keeps you from making sudden movements that can be misunderstood. A lot of drivers think grabbing their wallet fast looks helpful. It often does not. From outside the car, the officer cannot read your mind. They only see a hand drop low or move fast. That is how a simple stop gets sharp in a hurry. Voices get louder, orders get faster, everyone gets more tense. This line keeps the stop slow and clear. If the officer says yes, then move slowly. If your wallet is in your pocket, say that. If your registration is in the glove box, say that too. You're not asking permission because you are guilty. You are asking because smart drivers do not create fear by accident. Small choices matter a lot here, and remember this part. Do not start digging around before the officer asks for your license. Wait, listen, then speak before you move. That one habit can change the whole tone of the stop. It can keep things calm when your nerves are trying to rush you. This line also helps if there is anything in the car that could confuse the moment. Maybe your phone is by your seat. Maybe your bag is near your feet. You do not want random reaching to start questions you never needed. Slow beats, frantic every time. Are you seeing how these small lines can change the whole stop? Now let us get into the next one, because this is where many drivers talk themselves into a worse day. It is the silence shield. The problem it solves is the question trap. The officer may ask, "Do you know why I stopped you?" They may ask how fast you were going. They may ask where you're coming from, where you're going, or whether you had anything to drink. Most people answer because they want to seem helpful, but those answers can box you in fast. A casual question can turn into your own statement against you. Say exactly this: "I want to remain silent." That line is clear, it is firm, it uses a legal right, but the meaning is simple. It means you do not want to answer questions about what happened. This does not mean you refuse everything. If you are the driver, you still give required documents. In some places, you may need to give basic identifying information too, but you do not need to explain, guess, or tell your life story. This line protects you from filling awkward silence with bad facts. That is the whole point. People think silence looks guilty. In real life, rambling often looks worse. Officers hear excuses all day. They hear people talk around facts all day. The more you talk, the more chances you give yourself to slip. Now, quick friend-to-friend reminder. This video is for education only. It is not legal advice, and I am not your lawyer. If you're dealing with a serious case, talk to a licensed attorney in your state. Back to the stop. If you use this line, use it calmly. Do not snap it. Do not turn it into a speech. Do not add extra words. Keep it clean. And once you say it, act like you meant it. Do not say you want to remain silent and then keep chatting. That is a mistake I see all the time. If the officer keeps asking questions, you can repeat the same line. Calmly, no anger, no debate, just the same line. Short answers protect long problems. Now here is the next move. This one saves people from a giant mistake. It is the search blocker. The problem is that search requests often sound casual. The officer may say, "You do not mind if I take a quick look, right?" They may say, "If you have nothing to hide, it should be fine." That catches people off guard. They think saying yes will make them look innocent. Sometimes it does the exact opposite. Say exactly this: "I do not consent to any searches." That word consent just means permission. So in plain English, you are saying you do not give permission. That matters, even if the officer searches anyway. And yes, sometimes an officer may still search. Do not fight that physically. Do not pull away. Do not argue with your hands. Just make your words clear and your body calm. Why does this phrase matter so much? Because consent can open a door that did not need to open. When you say yes, you make the search easier for them to justify later. When you say no, you are protecting your position. You are making it clear that this was not your choice. That can matter later if a lawyer reviews it. This line also keeps you from getting tricked by soft language. Quick look, just making sure. Mind if I check? Those phrases sound small. The consequences may not be small at all. And never try to talk your way around it with jokes. Do not say, "Sure, I guess," if you have to. Do not shrug. Do not mumble. Be clear. Clear words beat mixed signals. If the officer asks again, you can repeat the same line. If they act annoyed, stay calm. You are not being rude by protecting your rights. The key is this: your voice stays steady, your hands stay still, your answer stays the same. A calm no is still a no. Is there someone in your life who drives every day and needs this today, not later? Here's the last move, and it is the clean exit line. This is how you stop the stop from stretching longer than it should. The problem it solves is the fishing phase. Sometimes the ticket is done, but the questions keep going. Drivers think they have to stay in that conversation forever. That is where people get worn down. They start chatting because they think the hard part is over. Then new questions lead to new problems. Say exactly this: "Am I free to leave?" This line is powerful. It forces the moment to get clear. If the answer is yes, leave calmly. If the answer is no, then you know the stop is still active and you should be careful. Confusion helps nobody but the person asking the questions. You should know if you are held. You should not have to guess. This question is not rude. It is not aggressive. It is one of the cleanest ways to understand your situation. If the officer says yes, leave safely. If the officer says no, then do not fill the silence. Stay calm. Stay quiet. Keep answers short. And if the stop turns serious, stop trying to handle it with charm. Ask for a lawyer. Too many people think being friendly will carry them through. Friendly is fine. Loose talk is not. This line helps you end the gray area. You are either free to go or you are not. Clarity is power. You do not need to win the roadside argument. Protect your position. Know the moment. Control the moment. Let me lock this in for you. First, ask why you're being stopped so you do not guess and confess by accident. Next, warn before you move, so your hands never create fear that does not need to exist. Then use your right to remain silent so you stop feeding the question trap. After that, block consent to searches with clear words to avoid opening doors. Finally, ask if you are free to leave so the stop gets clear instead of dragging into talk. This is real roadside training in plain English. You are not helpless in that situation anymore. You are calmer, sharper, and much harder to trip up. Memorize at least one line today. Stay calm, speak smart, drive free.